This episode is brought to you by Elevate OS, the only all-in-one community operating system. Elevate OS transforms property management, combining resident engagement, reservations, rent payments, maintenance, and concierge services into a single super app. It also uniquely integrates access control, intercoms, package lockers, and thermostats, eliminating app fatigue and redefining modern apartment living. Visit elevateos.com/MMN for a free demo and see how they can help you level up your operations. What if your team isn't motivated? Rather, they're just exhausted. Welcome to the Multifamily Collective. Today, I want to talk about that very thing. I want to talk about this as a problem. It's motivation doesn't really die in these big dramatic moments. It dies really in like 1,000 little frustrations, like all these things that pick at you throughout your day. No matter what the theme is, it just dies in 1,000 tiny frustrations. Unnecessary meetings, slow approvals, clunky systems and processes and disciplines and routines. You've probably been there. You've seen it. You've lived through it. You've complained about it. You probably created some of the things that create this situation. I think every hassle that a team faces is like a leak in an energy tank. If you think about a gas tank and every single thing that sort of, if it were that you drove down the road and every little rock or pebble or something from the road kicked up and hit your gas tank and it was so fragile that it caused a leak, that would be bad, right? It's kind of the same thing when imperfections like the clunky systems and so on and so forth hit your energy tank. It drains off and people don't make it to the finish line. People don't remain inspired. They don't remain motivated. And then the mistake that generally happens, is that leaders or managers think that you can fix the tank by just creating some incentives, some more perks, some coffee or a ping pong or a foosball table, something in the office that just makes up for the leaky tank. You think that. You've probably done that. I've done that. But if a team just continues to navigate like obstacles and attempts to jump over hurdles that are put in their way, and they try to go around things or they try to make their way through the day by doing a lot of extra work to get through the day, you don't really get great work out of your team. That's fair to say, right? I have a different idea. If you de-hassle, I would go so far as to say is de-hassling is one of the most powerful things that a leader can do for a team. It doesn't seem sexy or flashy, but your job is to clear the runway. Your job is to clear the runway so that workflows can happen, so people can thrive, so they can feel enriched and empowered by their ease of getting their work done. And when people thrive, they're happy, and happy people produce. They produce. They just do. And when they produce, your business wins. I want you to think about for a second. My imagination tells me that you have somebody on your team like this. Let's call them the best employee for sake of conversation. Every single time you put a problem in front of them, they get fired up about clearing the way, right? They get fired up about clearing the way. But there are times when your best employees are just frustrated beyond measure because they can't get things done, because there are consistently roadblocks and hurdles in their way. They wake up in the morning and they think, what am I going to have to deal with today? I'm going to get my work done, but what am I going to have to do to get that work done? What boulder am I going to have to move? Is the hurdle at 8 feet today instead of 6 feet or 5 feet or 4 feet or no hurdle? They're thinking about those things. Your best employees are thinking about those things. They get fired up and they're going to get their work done. They think about all this stuff that gets in their way. When you start cutting that stuff out of their way, those best employees become unstoppable. You unlock a motivation and inspiration in your company that you can't even imagine until you do it. You create a whole new level of efficiency in your workplace. Your culture gets off the charts. So here's the tip for today. Do it today. Go out and ask your team, what is the biggest thing that you're dealing with today? And that is your job. I'm going to use Elon Musk again as an example. Love him or hate him, doesn't matter. He is an incredibly effective business person. He flies around to his various businesses, and his chief aim is to go in and to sit down and to hear the biggest problems or the biggest problem that a team might be dealing with. And then he makes it his job to create a solution for that problem all year round. That's what he's doing. All day throughout the day, he's going around understanding what the biggest problem is, and he's solving that biggest problem. And when he comes back the next time, say that's a week removed from now, he wants to know what the next problem is, the next biggest problem. He's just constantly creative in his solutions and putting things in place that get roadblocks and hurdles and things out of the way for his team members so that they can be successful. My encouragement to you today is this: do that. Always be asking what the biggest problems are, and then go out and kill that friction in your organization. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.